Experience that, why we still have myself and Mr. Ronnie and some other guidance around.
Oh, found it, carried on. I hereby move that the Board of Benton County Commissioners approve the Public Works Department organization chart attached effective immediately and the LIT to transfer the funds within the county road fund.
I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. All right, the next one is authorization to proceed with design build alternative public works process for the courthouse HVAC upgrade project. And Robert Blaine here is available to go ahead and do his presentation.
Good morning, gentlemen. I appreciate the opportunity to present today. Before I have the resolution to authorize the use of the design build process for the courthouse HVAC, a little bit of history on the project. In 2015, a larger scale project was completed, replacing most of the HVAC system in the courthouse. Unfortunately, with the systems being fairly new to the market and installation challenges, the systems continue to have problems since 2015 and has had a high maintenance cost. It's been generally mostly unreliable throughout the summer. So we're preparing to replace that system, and due to the nature of the project being very complex, it'll be within an occupied space. And there's also opportunity, if we are allowed to use the progressive design build process, to incur some savings through that process that'll bring both the contractor and the designer to the project at the same time, so we can work closely together. Our team, including Riley Valero, Danica Hope, and myself, presented this project to the State Project Review Committee to be able to utilize the alternate public works process. We did receive authorization, and a letter is attached to the resolution. And so today, I just ask that the board consider authorizing us to move forward with that, and here to answer any questions.
So just being a contractor doing my projects, time material as well, design build, I show the owners the invoices from the subcontractors. Is this something too that our contractor will be able to show us, okay, yeah, they got a $10,000 bill. They're charging us a 5 or 8 or 10% markup, whatever we agree on. Is that something that they'll show to us too, to where?
The design build process is an open book process.
Yeah, okay,
just
good,
like we're
perfect. Let's
talking
make
about.
sure we're staying that way. Yes. Yeah, just so, not that I'm saying they're being dishonest, but just helps us being more, knowing what's going on and more effective and being honest about it, so.
Absolutely. We have 4 design build projects currently in process,
Yeah.
including the behavioral health, juvenile justice,
Yeah.
the fairgrounds arena, and also a large scale HVAC replacement at the Justice Center itself.
Yeah.
And all 4 of those projects have been fairly successful.
Yeah, because again, it makes sense to where, okay, the change order costs the contractor $20,000. He's building 20,000 plus the 8% or 10%, not $100,000. So that makes more sense. So I'm fine with this. Okay.
I always get nervous when on a CIPs for sure, because I know when I hear HVAC, I think dollars. It's big money. And so I know we have a lot of CIPs. We mentioned a few. We've been very good about that. Like I said, when I came over to the county, I was on the capital improvements projects over there in Richland as well. There's 3 of us on that, and lots of money, millions of dollars. And I know that we used a lot of ARPA funds, a lot of different funds, grants as well. Knowing that, Robert, I'm going to put you on the spot just for a second, because I'm looking at one gentleman in the very back. I'm going to put him on the spot. How are you feeling with everything going on?
Something happened to your mic. There, yeah.
We got to charge those up. All right. So I know that those are very expensive projects we're doing. I just saw in the paper, I think it was last week, an article up about another county going more to the west side, about a $15 million deficit. I know CIP projects are very expensive. This one has to be done as HVAC. It's just, it has to be done. But I'm going to talk to the treasurer real quick. Are we good to go? He's shaking his head yes, as we move forward. And that's one thing we have been, is very financially sound. We're very strategic, good policy. And so I just want to make sure that people that hear those things, we're not in a deficit. We're working very hard to stay balanced, and we can get these things done because we've used our money wisely moving forward. So with that being said, appreciate the time, Robert.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to move to approve the Director of Facilities and Capital Assess to move forward with the courthouse HVAC upgrade project as presented.
I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
All right, moving down, and my computer is actually working. Let's see here. Other business. I'm going to go ahead and go to our electeds. Our county auditor, nothing. County clerk, nothing. County treasurer. We're dodging. Anything? All right. Moving on to any directors or managers. Anybody have any updates?
Sure.
I haven't missed them. I'm waiting. I'm holding him back for a second, if he's okay with that. Any directors, managers for any updates, reminders? Okay, perfect. Sheriff, I do have something in mind for you in a second. So you're sitting back there, but I'm going to bring you up for a second on cameras in a second, if you're okay with that. Okay, perfect. Commissioner McKay?
It's just too bad we can't get Chick-fil-A in our budget. Yeah, it's too bad. So sad.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Sheriff Clark, would you like to come up for a second? I really appreciate that. I know that we haven't talked about this.
No, we haven't.
But-
So I'm intrigued. You got my attention now.
But you're good on the fly. So I got an email. I don't know if you did, Commissioner McKay. It was this week. I believe it's this week. You know, it's in reference to plot cameras, those type of things like that that we have in the county. I know that Prosser went ahead and made a announcement that they're not using them any further. And so when I look at those, and I know that, you know, the sheriff's office has requested additional funding for more of those cameras. And I'll be honest, you had the undersheriff, I spoke to him, I think it was last year, he had asked for some additional plot cameras. It was Tues, and it's in your district. I'm very pro those because when I look at that, that's one way used in the right way. And what they're doing is, and I just want to make sure I'm going to speak in turn correctly. They're a good way to identify potential crimes, such as somebody from a murder scene that may have left the scene, child abductions that, you know, I see those, theft, those type of things from farms and stuff where people have gone to a farm and stole equipment. And so when I got that email, they wanted me potentially to either testify in Olympia or help, they would help me write a letter to send to Olympia. I haven't done any one of those yet because I just got the letter. But I look at those as a valuable tool that law enforcement or hands use. It has a license plate. It reads the license plate, potentially the make and year of the vehicle, and you can track it from one place to another for technology. And I just wanted to ask you if you had any comments or if you had anything on the pro side.
So yeah, so we have numerous cases where that has been one of the major points that we were able to obtain suspect information, make arrest, lead to arrest, identify evidence, anything like that. So the way that they work is exactly like you explained. They're a license plate reader. One of the other things with them is you can search vehicles by unique characteristics and or make, model, color, other things like that. And so in that situation, I'll give you a perfect example. Out on the west end of the county, we had a farm. They had a bunch of stuff stolen, tens and tens of thousands of dollars of equipment stolen. They had their own private cameras. They can't read the license plate on this vehicle, but I was able to search, and literally within 2 minutes, I was able to get a license plate for that vehicle that comes back out of Toppenish, Mattawa, wherever it was. So now we have suspect information to follow up on. Outside of that, we would have had nothing. And so it was a fairly grainy, blurry video. We had a robbery that occurred out in Prosser, same thing. Their closed circuit surveillance camera from inside got a small glimpse of the vehicle through the glass window out to the parking lot area. We were able to take that, find identifying markers on that vehicle, come up with a license plate that then leads to an arrest over in Yakima County. And so these are the things that not only for when we have a known vehicle, stolen vehicles, if we have some sort of a kidnapping or anything like that, where you have, you know, amber alerts or anything, silver alerts with vehicles, to where if they cross one of these, we get an alert that that is now there. And so any of that type of stuff also benefits us because it's not only a search thing, but it also will identify us when we have those stolen vehicles that pop up on cameras. And then our deputies can look in that area and see if they can locate those vehicles or vehicles that we're looking for, suspects that we're looking for. We can create a list of, you can essentially enter in a vehicle license plate that this person's wanted. They're known to be driving this vehicle. And if it shows up there, because ironically enough, suspects that are involved in crimes don't always go to their registered address and wait for us to show up. Sometimes they like to hide from us, and it takes a little bit of effort to track them down.
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I know we've talked about this several times, and you actually took me out. We looked at a few different cameras and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit more educated on it than I was. I appreciate that. Like I said, those things can also save lives from abductions, everything.
100%.
And so I personally myself, as far as Benton County is concerned, I'm very pro those. I don't see those going away. I think right now they're on attack a little bit, saying they're there to target specific people or groups. I don't see that technology in Benton County being used in that way at all. It's used strictly for crime type things like that.
Yeah, and correct. And I mean, and there's audit trails. You can't, anybody who searches anything, it's there. It's always in the audit trail. It's always being able to go back and look at. And so we're able to monitor those things. to where if it was ever being abused, we would know that. And so, and then that would be dealt with accordingly, obviously.
I appreciate that part because some people may not have, were aware of that. I know you told me that in the past. Now I'm going to ask you, Sheriff Clark, do you have anything for the good of the order?
No, I appreciate it though.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I know that Rebecca Albright had a question in reference to our ordinances for the county and stuff. So I think it was a week and a half ago. Representative Connors had contacted me about 8:30, 9 o'clock one night. I can't remember when that was. It was later in the evening. She had an ordinance from Thurston County. She asked if she could send it to me, and I said yes. She sent it to my email. I went ahead and talked to our deputy county administrator. Got it right. Our county administrator, Chairman Pearson. We spoke about ordinances, and I wanted to see if we could improve our ordinance or we had an existing ordinance already in place. That will probably be challenged, but ours right now currently stands, Rebecca. I see your name on there on the TV here still on our screen. It stands where those things would be. The only place that we can have them right now currently is in heavy industrial. Is that correct? So I have my our planning manager and our community development director shaking their heads up and down. So that's where we stand on it. Then I also asked if our county administrator would forward Thurston County and our current code where we have it in writing to Franklin County, to Pasco, and Kennewick and Richland and West Richland, I think. Is that correct? Yep. So they have our ordinances and Thurston County ordinances. And so if they want to look at those and improve theirs and be proactive, they're welcome to do that. Have any questions for us, we're welcome to take those on as well. And like I said, eventually we'll see how our ordinance comes down the road when it comes down to this Olympia and everybody out there in state legislators and state senators. That being said, one last thing, I'm still trying, I have 2 weeks with a German short hair puppy getting up at 12, 2, and 4. They have a lot of energy compared to a lab. So I'm still trying to go ahead and get this all worked out here behind the diocese. So next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go into an executive session. It's going to be the fourth core litigation with our attorney. There he is, Mr. Altman. And how many minutes do you need? We're going to go 20 minutes into executive session, and the time is 9:24. Thank you. All right, we're out of executive session. No decisions were made and the time is 9:44 and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Name of the game, right?